Hello, my name is Cale Jackson. I'm the district administrator here in Darlington. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Hope you find it to be informative. The board has approved a referendum question for the ballot in April, and I wanted to take a few minutes here to talk about what that's going to look like. First of all, let's talk about how school finance works. Public schools get the vast majority of our revenue from two sources: aid from the state and local property taxes. The amount that a school receives from the state depends on the total value of the property in that district and how many students are in the school. Here in Darlington, we receive a lot of aid from the state compared to other districts. I'm comparing us to Minocqua on this slide. It's a bit of an extreme example just to make a point. You can see that 63% of our revenue comes from the state, whereas a district like Minocqua that has much more property value to tax gets 0.4% of their revenue from the state. So probably the most important piece of information to take from this slide is that for every dollar we spend here at the school, we get back 63 cents from the state the following year. And that has a big effect on what a referendum will do to your taxes. This slide shows what will be requested on the referendum question: $1.9 million per year. This is the same amount that was approved on a previous referendum and is currently in effect. We are asking to continue what's currently happening with no increase for the next 5 years. Obviously, in this current economic climate, it was very important to the board to structure this in a way that would have our tax rate continue to drop. With so much of our revenue coming from the state, as we just discussed, keeping the referendum amount flat will almost certainly result in a decreasing tax rate. This slide shows facility needs that were recently addressed. You can see we did a lighting project in the DIMS building. We replaced all the lights with high efficiency LEDs, which will save us a lot of money on our energy bill. The high school and the DIMS building both got epoxy floors. This will save us a lot of time and a lot of money, as the epoxy floors do not have to be stripped and re-waxed every summer like the 12 by 12 tiles did. We also completed a major, much needed project in the high school parking lot. There's a lot of uncertainty right now at the state level about the amount of taxes that they're going to bring in the next couple of years. But if nothing changes significantly in Madison, the continuation of this current referendum as we proposed it will allow us to maintain our operations here at the school, as well as take care of every facility related need that we have coming up. Really, other than a new gym that we're trying to get through a FEMA grant, we should be able to build enough into our maintenance budget to take care of our facility needs. If we get the FEMA grant this summer, it is possible that you may see a referendum question in the future to pay for our part of that project. But if that happens, any request would be structured in a way that did not increase the tax rate. So a little bit about this grant. In January, we applied for a FEMA grant for a tornado shelter here on school property. When it's not being used as a tornado shelter, it will provide much needed gym space. Probably the most important part of this slide is the last line. If this grant is approved, and we'll find out sometime this summer, the government will pay $5 million of the $6 million cost of the structure. We would still have to pay for the hoops, the gym floor, the bleachers, and that kind of thing, but the grant would cover the vast majority of the project. When you talk about school finance and you make projections for future years, you have to make certain assumptions. And those can have a big impact on the final numbers. So I wanted to make sure I explained clearly where they were coming from. You can see I'm estimating here a $100 per student increase added to the revenue limit each year. That's in line with what we've been seeing as a trend for the last 10 years or so. I projected that our enrollment will slowly increase. Health insurance costs will rise at 5% a year, staff salaries at 2% a year, and that property values in the district will rise at 2.5% per year. Now, this is the last slide, probably the one you've been waiting for. Answer the question, what's this going to do to my taxes? Because we get so much of our revenue from the state, if we just continue our referendum at the current level, I'm very confident that we will see a tax rate over the next 5 years that continues to drop. When we look back 5 years from now at these numbers will almost certainly not be exactly what happened, but I'm confident that the decreasing trend that you see there over the last 3 years will continue over the course of the referendum. Thank you.